The Electoral Commission has rejected calls by the National Democratic Congress for bipartisan probe into the alleged theft of biometric verification devices at the EC's headquarters. The NDC said the sensitive nature of the missing equipment could potentially compromise the integrity of the December elections. But speaking on the pulse with Elton Brobe, Director of Electoral Services at the EC, Dr. Serebo Kweku, insisted that they are comfortable with the police investigating the matter.
You see, one thing that people said, which is not true, is that it's like we only reported it when it came to Parliament.
Exactly.
Immediately it was detected, we ourselves suspected certain people. We informed the security people that these are the situations, and they are laptops. They're not the BVRs. So we suspect ABC. Then the police picked them, and they were doing the investigation. And I believe it is in the course of the investigation that it came out. Because whenever something happens which is illegal, we would prefer giving it to, allowing the national security to work. Because when the political parties come in, then becomes conflict. Somebody says, oh, if we hear that somebody is saying that we suspect this party, and I would say that we suspect this party. But if you allow the security people to do their professional work, the people will be handled. And
you don't support the proposal for a non-partisan probe into this?
What are we investigating? That the police is not investigating. And you are here. Once somebody steals something, what happens? You can't do the case. So we believe that the police people will do that. And we know that some of them have been even arraigned before the court.
That they have extended the limited voter registration for 2 more days following technical hitches that characterized day 1 of the exercise.
From the look, we agree that the first 2 days we had a lot of challenges. So more or less we lost the 2 days. So we are compensating the applicants with the 2 days that we lost partially. So that's why we are giving them additional 2 days.
So this challenge, was it a nationwide challenge or restricted to certain areas?
The connectivity issues and the inability to have the access code was national in character.
Who also added that the errors in the figures uploaded on its social media pages cast a dent on their reputation.
I find it difficult to talk about it. Because it casts a slur on us. But there have been 2 instances. With respect to our statistics, there are no issues. But the team that was working on the infographs, the first one, if you take there was a region that registered 3,000 for the second day and 9,000 on the third day. So when they were uploading, they repeated the 9,000 for the first and second day.
Right.
So instead of the second day being 19,000, the difference of the 6 showed, so it became 25,000. So that's the first mistake that was made. Then the second one, it was the graph. They had the graph right. So you can see that it's a histogram. So you see that the graph for Upper East was smaller as compared to Greater
Accra region.
But the figures for Greater Accra was repeated for Upper East. So you see that the histogram was short like this, but the figure is the same as Greater Accra.
Right.
So that's what the problem. So it's cut and paste issue, and I'm not here to defend that.
Now, Member of Parliament for Ningo Pampram, Samuel Nate George, is calling for reformation at the Ghana Revenue Authority, questioning the involvement of the authority in the SML deal. According to him, the GRA should have withheld taxes from the payment made to Strategic Mobilization Limited. Speaking on Newsfile, Sam George maintains that the GRA seems to be acting under duress.
So when GRA was making payments to SML, they ought to know that they ought to have withheld taxes. But that points to the point Atta tried to make, that it appears as though the GRA itself is under duress in this deal, where officers of the GRA, because of the overwhelming influence of the patriarchs of SML and their relationship with the GRA, People are under so much duress that they are failing to even carry out the basic. Forget the procurement things that I was spoken about. Those are even like very complex things. The basic thing, okay, you've created looting and you are sharing. The small withholding tax, that is the base. That also, the GRA itself. So when the policeman is involved in armed robbery, who arrested?
Because if any firm in this country fails to withhold tax, the GRA, after an audit, makes the firm pay up that amount it failed to withhold.
With a penalty.
With a penalty.
With a penalty.
And the penalty is up to 300%.
Yes.
That is their own law that they implement.
So you see the earlier statement I made, and this is just one example of how the GRA itself, in fact, this is one of its core things, ensuring the payment or withholding of taxes and all of that. The point must be made that even in setting up this entity, it is someone from GRA who then goes to run the thing. So basically, it's like GRA hiving off itself, giving itself a private face, and saying to it, do their job, and now what I would have earned a salary from the taxpayer for, only a salary, let me earn a commercial interest.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Vice President of Imani Africa, Bright Simmons, is accusing the Strategic Mobilization Limited, SML, of evading taxes.
What SML has been trying to convince us is that this gap between what GRA used to, the information GRA has, and the information NPA, which is the main regulator, has, was due to under-declaration. And then what you see on the screen, the green and the blue, is when they came into the picture, and they are trying to prove to you that there was a convergence. That gap vanished. What I'm trying to explain to you is that the red line that you see in the middle is the period during which is April 2020. Is that period when ICAMS was integrated into GRA's platform. And if you see it carefully, you see that it comes before May 2020, when this new company, the black line that you see, the black dotted line, when this company came. So you see that the convergence, the green and the red, converging together appears before SML actually comes to the picture. Yeah. And that's what we see in the KPMG report on page 157.
Right.
And that line you see is the dates or the period in which ICAMS, which is at the port, was integrated into the GRA platform. So it tells you clearly that before SML was brought into the picture, that convergence, that narrowing of the gap between the green line, which represents the MPA data, and the red line, which represents the GRA, had already happened.
Away from that, Ghana's continuous borrowing from European financial institutions will never solve the problems in the country. It will only postpone the challenges. This is the assertion by a senior Ghanaian citizen and Pan-Africanist, Professor Kofi Opoku-Asare. Now, according to him, the solutions to save the country are within and not external support. The over 90 years old professor of religion and African studies raised these concerns, among other issues, bothering the growth of the country in a yet-to-be-aired interview on The Sages.
I think we should always go to the IMF. We ignore our own strengths, our own abilities. I am convinced, beyond any shred of doubt, that we are not a helpless people. We have strength, we have energy, we have wisdom, my goodness. So it is only because we have been indoctrinated to believe that we need to depend on somebody. And so when the Europeans came to exploit us, they said, oh, we brought them civilization, we brought them this, we brought them that. But didn't we have our own? We did have our own, and we still have it, only we have neglected it. And so the more you continue to rely on others, the more you exhaust the abilities, the capabilities that you have. You know, our first recourse, let's go to the IMF. And then the IMF tells you what to do. Now, who knows better what we need? Is it the IMF, it is the Europeans, or we ourselves? If we believe that the Europeans can solve our problems for us, then I'm afraid we deserve our fate. But I don't think we do. We can do everything ourselves if we wake up. But we have been indoctrinated to feel that.
The Sages airs on Joy News Channel every Saturday at 12 p.m. and features learned senior Ghanaian and global personalities who've garnered experiences from diverse backgrounds. Right now, we take a break. When we return, there's more news. Welcome back from that break. Moving on with stories in this bulletin, the Komfo Teaching Hospital has taken significant steps towards improving its renal care services with the purchase of 3 new dialysis machines. The equipment, procured from the hospital's internally generated funds, are being installed amidst growing concerns over the cost of renal services and the scarcity of dialysis facilities in the country. The hospital has also made progress in the construction of hostel facilities to accommodate relatives of long-distance patients on admission. Nana Boachi Adam has more.
The acquisition of the 3 additional dialysis machines will significantly expand capacity, allowing the Komfo Teaching Hospital to treat more patients and reduce wait lists. The purchase of these machines was done through the hospital's internally generated funds. Professor Ochre Adeymensa is the CEO of the hospital.
You would have heard me say in times past that Komfo had only 1.5 dialysis machines because we had 2, but one was working at fault. Presently, we have 4 thanks to Springfield Oil gave us 2 refurbished ones. I had a conversation with them last night around 10 p.m. and it is likely that they are going to give us 3 more refurbished ones. But the hospital again uses internally generated funds and has purchased 3 brand new dialysis machines, which you saw. The installation is being done. I'm expecting 2 brand new ones, possibly by the end of this month, if not middle of next month, from a company whose permission I do not have to put their name out. But if we have 2 brand new ones added to the 3, we have 5 brand new ones, we already have 4 in place, that makes 9. And if the 3 from Springfield come on board, we'd have a total of 12. But I must, however, say that the new Minister for Health is intent on ensuring that he equips the various health facilities with dialysis machines. And so, for example, there's been a meeting of all the CEOs in the teaching hospitals together with him and some engineers, and he's looking at bringing some more machines to Komfo to Tamale. Tamale presently has 3 or 4, if my memory serves me right, Cape Coast, and then to the newly established Sunyani Teaching Hospital.
The situation of relatives of patients sleeping and camping outside the hospital, often under unfavorable weather conditions, has been a major concern to management. To tackle this issue, CATH initiated the construction of a hostel facility designed specifically to accommodate relatives. Professor Ochre Adeymensa is resolved to see the project's completion.
Much as our core mandate as a hospital does not essentially include the provision of such services for relatives, to the extent that some of these patients would definitely come with relatives because of the state in which they find themselves, it has become necessary for us to make that kind of provision. And so, cognizant of that responsibility, this was entered into with a private contractor and a BOT arrangement for him to build a facility like that would house the relatives who come with such patients. Like I told you, it's about 80% complete. We have the opportunity to look at it ourselves. We saw the beds that were present, we saw the doors, the floors were done, the tiling had been done. There are a few fixtures that need to be put in place, and once those things are done, I'm sure that we would have use of it.
The hospital has also refurbished its physiotherapy unit to help improve service delivery.
Now, 3 Joy News journalists have been recognized at the MEC Foundation Africa Media Recognition Awards held in Accra on Friday. Joy News' assistant editor, Ohiming Tewia, and broadcast journalist Emmanuel Bright Kweku and Anita Sewa Ajoga were awarded for highlighting women and children's issues. The 3 were among 83 Africans celebrated for stupendous storytelling under the More Than a Mother Diabetes and Hypertension and special awards. There's more in this report.
It was a day to appreciate the works and efforts of journalists in West Africa who have led the way in providing the voice for voiceless women and children marginalized by the society. While Ohemin Terriers Joy News hotline documentary titled Child Bride, the sad story of minors forced to become wives, was adjudged the overall best in the multimedia category of the award, Bright Kweku and Anita Ajuga jointly came in third in the same category. The duos rescuing the Ghanaian adolescent girl won them the award. The awardees took turns receiving plaques and certificates from Ghana's First Lady, Rebecca Ekufuado, who also doubles as the patron of the MEC Foundation. Mrs. Rebecca Ekufuado is encouraging the winners to continue with their good works in representing the marginalized minority in society.
These awards have promoted the discussion of critical social issues and given young people the opportunity to showcase their talents. I am therefore excited today to meet and recognize our media, fashion, film and song awards winners. I'm also happy that we have previous winners with us. I congratulate you all. Please continue to be the voice of the voiceless through your work.
The MEC Foundation, in partnership with the Rebecca Foundation, has transformed the patient care landscape of Ghana, providing 146 doctors in underserved areas with critical medical specialties such as fertility, cancer, diabetes, cardiology, and others. Senator Dr. Rasha Kelej is the CEO of the MEC Foundation.
Of course, if I tell you that in total, in Africa and in Asia and developing countries, Merck Foundation provided more than 1,010 scholarships for doctors from 52 countries in 42 critical and underserved specialties, which I mentioned. It's a huge number.
We'll pause here for a break. We're back with more. Stay with me. And it's a wrap for this evening's bulletin, but remember to brush your teeth before you go to bed this evening and tomorrow morning when you wake up from bed with either Pepsodent Cavity Fighter, Pepsodent Charcoal, Pepsodent Herbal, or Pepsodent Triple Protection. Because with Pepsodent, every smile matters. My name is Sweetie Abochi. Thanks for watching. Have a stupendous evening.